Chapter 14. Offer letters. The offer letter is basically your job offer, right? It's meant to confirm and solidify the terms of your employment. These can vary greatly, but usually contain the official job title, the compensation for said title, and a start date. This is the stuff that's officially being decided that you're agreeing upon and it's being offered to you. That's the offer letter. This is the job you're going to take. This is the money you're going to make. This is when we expect you to officially start. Keep that in mind too, because if you sign that thing and it says you're going to start on the 16th or whatever, that's when you're starting, buddy. You could renegotiate these sometimes, but just assume that that's how things are going to go. It can also include the benefits package, schedule, and reporting structure for the position. Sometimes they are multiple paragraphs and quite wordy. Other times they're very simple and hold limited information. I got an offer letter that was 3 sentences once, and that's fine. It was like, hey, we'd really love to reach out to you. We'll offer the position of blah, blah, blah. Your pay rate would be this, and we'd love you to start on this. And then the third sentence was basically, thank you so much for your time. So, you know, they can be pretty basic, and usually they'll be accompanied with a contract. And outlining for the contract is make sure to sign this either ASAP or by this date. If there are any signing bonuses, the stipulations would be outlined as well. An example would be a signing bonus of 30K if you were to stay with the company for 2 years. But if you left it early, it would need to be paid back. This isn't really the same as stock. This is actual money you get and have available to you, but you have to work within the confines of that agreement. So there you go. An offer letter is confidential and subject to change until signed, right? So until both parties sign it, it's not official. We've talked about contracts a lot. I'm going to talk about them a lot still, which is make sure you understand that until it's signed and set in stone, the agreement is not real. That means there is no actual agreement of employment or terms until you have your offer letter and sign. So if you are changing jobs, never leave your previous job until you have a written offer letter from the new position in hand, and generally until you've signed it and they've signed it too. So, what to do once you receive an offer? Let the employer or hiring manager know you received the letter quickly and thank them for it. Another recurring thing is being appreciative, thanking people, use your social graces. You can let them know you are going to take a moment to consider it. You can always consider it. Don't just go like, "Oh, I have to sign this now or I'm never going to get the job." Be like, "Hey, yeah, let me look it over or let me talk to some folks." Even if there's no folks to talk to, you can be like, "I've got to talk to some folks and make sure everything looks good." Read and consider it. Do it. You can always ask questions at this point if anything is unclear. And if the offer is not to your liking and you wish to negotiate, this is when you do it by sending a counter offer. A counter offer is not a rejection. It is a continuation of the discussion for their consideration. And keep in mind, a counter offer isn't always just based off money. Like, oh, they gave you an offer for 130 and you're like, oh, I counter with 140. Sometimes it's like, oh, this starting date doesn't look right, or I'd like I'd like this to be added, or can we make sure that this is put in? Sometimes it's just adding stuff to the contract that you feel should be there but you don't think showed up. Stuff like that as well. If you reach agreeable terms, sign the thing. If you decline, do so politely and decide if you wish to outline a reason as to why. Being polite gives them a last minute opportunity to consider another offer or not. Maybe they didn't give you enough money, right? Maybe they were like, oh, we can probably push you towards this amount. And then the offer letter shows up and magically it's 25K less. You can ask why, but you can also just decline and be like, they're jerking me around. But even if you're pissed at them, always politely decline, because you want a paper trail of you being a polite and reasonable person, even if they're not being reasonable. Don't forge offer letters to suggest you got a better fucking offer. It doesn't say fucking, but I added that because you need to pay attention to this one. A surprising amount of people do this. Don't forge documents ever. It shouldn't need to be said, but here we are. This happens a lot, actually, where people are like, oh, I actually have a competing offer. And then, here's the thing, right? You can say you have another offer if you want to be that person. You can be like, I'm considering other offers, right? And just leave it there. But some people really want to just say too much. And sometimes they do too much. And sometimes they'll forge an offer and be like, see, look, man, I got this crazy offer and they're just waiting for me. That can go a lot of ways, but it's completely not gonna, it's not gonna stand up to being vetted. And sometimes if somebody finds out you've done that, there are going to be legal repercussions for that. And it's more than just you didn't get this job. You're going to be in some deep shit. So yeah, fraud. It's a thing. And so don't do this. I don't think you're going to do this. Don't worry. You're special and smart. But everybody else, I don't know about them. Just make sure you actually have an offer, or if you're in conversations and they're like, are you considering any offers, or is it just us? You can kind of fudge it and be like, well, I'm considering my options, or I have another opportunity I'm looking at, but don't push past that. You know what I mean? Just don't. That's it for this section. It's pretty cut and dry, quite frankly, but I wanted to touch on it. Like I said, some of these are going to be a little quick as far as the chapter length goes. Any questions for this one? No questions. Wow. Nice. Nice and clean. We're moving right along. All right.